It was roughly
70,
70%.
okay.
Yeah, because when you click on the transactions index screener, you'll see whether or not it was an MEV bot. And an MEV bot is not only on buy and burns, like arbitrage bots are also marked as MEV bots on a Etherscan. Yeah, so it was roughly 70%.
And is it going to be... Sorry, go on.
Even now, Element 280 has like 120K a day on average.
Which is good. Is it going to be that all the LPs are formed before launch, similar to how E280 did?
No. It's gonna be done manually, and then the LP tokens get burned. So the 100 million goes to a liquidity wallet. Then that will set up all the pairs across the ecosystem. It's gonna take a little bit because it also needs to buy all those tokens on the other side to create the pair, and then it's gonna just burn the LP tokens, which means that it's forever locked. And then so the interesting thing with the Element 280, to finish the thought, is Element 280 is $1.3 million market cap, and it has 103K volume. That's 10% of the market cap is volume, yeah. So if Shogun is whatever market cap, numbers could get pretty crazy. Because Element 280 is a relatively small project when you look at the market cap. That's not including NFT backing, but that's on market, and that's the only thing arbitrage bots can play with.
Titan X is pumping right now. Everyone in the chart's like, go look at it. Go look at it. I'm like, all right. All right. Got a little candle going there. We got a lot of buys going in. In the last hour, we're at 175,000 buys and 7,000 sells. So that's not bad. 20 times the buys to the sells right now. That's a decent hour.
It always interests me, like, because I only look at the metrics. So Titan X has always been awesome, but I wonder how, like, from an outsider, it goes from like, this is the best thing since sliced bread, to this is a rotten piece of shit, to this is the best thing since sliced bread. Like, I wonder how that works. I've never been like that when it comes to investing. I'm like, I like this thing, I'm sticking to it.
They're on the 1 minute chart, and that's what happens. Like, I'm out. It hit red.
That's a nice candle there.
Yeah, it is.
That's a nice candle. That's a
That's
nice candle.
Everyone sounds exactly the same. That's nice. Okay, let me go to these questions because we got a bunch of questions and some just a couple comments here. Number one, Deadpool Jake, you missed the chance on Halloween, brother. You have the katanas. All right, next year maybe. We went through that one. Next year, Titan X, $1. Let's fucking go. We hit that one. You're hoping for a launch on the 28th, but no guarantee. We'll see how the audit goes.
Yep.
The liquidity on Shogun pairs, I assume they'll be just even split to start.
I'll try that.
More. Okay.
Yeah, it also depends on what is viable on market. Like if you want to create a 50K pair and there's only 30K in the liquidity pool, then it's just going to naturally kind of balance itself out. But ideally, roughly the same on everything.
Revo said he prepared for the stream by wearing a clean shirt, and you came in with a couple of swords. So,
yes.
Nice one, Revo.
Okay, people talk about this, so I figure we may as well talk about it. My opinion on this is it's the ebbs and flows of crypto. People move out of things, it creates opportunities, then people see things, they move back into them. So, I don't know. Do you want to add on that?
100%. That's how it all works. Because Shogun is new until it's not new. And then people are going to be like, hey, actually, these things are pretty damn interesting. And we're constantly going to get new user adoption. And they're going to look at things like with fresh eyes. Yeah, just normal ebbs and flows of the market. There's nothing you can really do about that. If you don't want that to happen, you just don't build anything. Which is, yeah, that's a quick road to nowhere. So the only solution is building.
Yeah, I feel like,
building and marketing.
Yeah, 100%. And look, with the amount of protocols that we're going to have, things will be in dips while other things are high. And then that will create opportunities. And pretty soon I'll have a stream with Callum and I'll be like, hey, Helios is 1-to-1 with Titan X. And I'll be like, wait, what? And then, all of a sudden you'll start figuring out there's another opportunity somewhere. So, yeah, ebbs and flows.
That did happen.
All all of
that.
crypto is just one big balancing act of value, because you can't create value out of thin air. Value injected into crypto, the people that make profits are the ones that balance out the side. Like, so when people make profit, and there has to be people that don't get profit. And as people extract value from one side, there's people that lost value on the other side. So like, it's like you said, ebbs and flows. It's value balancing itself out over time within the ecosystem. You're going to have people that are taking profits in one and bringing that value somewhere else. But in total, the value doesn't get removed or gained or lost or anything. It's just moving around. Like you said, ebbs and flows. That's all it is ever.
Yeah. And the cool thing about Titan X, it all accrues. Like you in Solana, people buy one meme coin, and then if the next 2 hours they decide it's another meme coin, they want to rug and steal people's money, well then everybody sells that one down and goes into the other one without benefiting an ecosystem. Like at least with Titan X, everything benefits the ecosystem. All the volume is contained within Titan Farms. Like our ecosystem feeds through all the volume and all the activity happening, and it locks all the tokens into different liquidity pools and stuff. So at least we have a net beneficial, net positive event when people move around than nothing else has. That's another massive benefit. So even if we move around, like it helps. It burns Titan X, it burns X28. Like everything just it gets stronger with every turn of the flywheel, which is one of the key metrics of a flywheel. Is every turn it gets stronger. So as Titan X becomes scarcer and scarcer and scarcer and scarcer, that flywheel just turns into titanium, basically. It just becomes unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
When you say burned, are we talking specifically burned, locked in other protocols? I guess for this example, we'll say Shogun X28.
I think he mentioned. I think he's talking about Titan X. So the deflation on Titan X, because I saw this comment earlier, that's burned. That does not mean locked in liquidity pool. That's hardcore, cold hard burn. 245,000 a day on average in the last, I guess, 14 days ish.
Wow.
Last 2 weeks. 0.16% of the supply a day. There's nothing out there in crypto that does that level of hyperdeflation. And X28 hasn't even kickstarted yet. So those numbers are going to get very interesting.
Nuts.
It makes you want to keep the price at a low as possible for as long as possible to burn as much.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, but at some point, people are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Should Shogun build on all chains? Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, probably just one quick question regarding the way you burn it. Is like, do you send it to the zero address, or how is that?
It's a little bit different on everything.
Okay.
With X28, it sends it to the Titan X buy and burn V2 contract and then calls the burn. So you'll see it on a transaction. It sends it to the V2 and then it burns from V2 buy and burn.
Okay, I see. Probably that's the one which I was missing. That's why I think the premium is showing a bit different number. I think that was the thing which I was missing in that one.
Oh yeah. I was checking it. It does not include the X28 burn.
Yeah. I'll definitely fix that.
That's going to be interesting to figure out. Yeah, because there's a getter on the contract to get it from X28, but I'm not sure if you can get that by day or how you track the data.
Essentially, I have all the data, so I can just parse through all the events, essentially. Yeah. It should be in the events, I believe.
Let's actually check.
Yeah. Unless you don't send an event when you burn. But burns normally sends like a Ethereum event. This is a bit of a nerdy talk here, guys. Sorry.
I'm glad you said that, because in my head I was like, man, we're getting nerdy right now. It's hilarious.
Hey, you guys can keep talking.
Ted, how you doing, buddy? What are you thinking about all this?
Let me just get back to where I was. I'm super excited. I can't really put it into words, especially with what we got going on with our build. With Mizuchi and everything coming up, it's just super exciting. I'm looking forward to all the different opportunities that can present, especially on X28 with Shogun coming out. And I guess the only way I can put it is I feel like the stars have aligned for a lot of opportunity throughout the ecosystem. coming in as a builder and a founder has really opened up a lot more of the intricacies and the dynamics of what is capable with Titan X. It's just mind-boggling, and it's instilled enough faith in me to take this leap of faith and do what Column did, and hats off to you, kid, because it takes guts, and but the rubbers hit the road, and I'm just super excited. I can't wait for all this to come together.
I totally agree. I mean, where else in crypto would you want to be right now? I mean, a few weeks ago, everyone was so bullish on Titan X. It feels like Twitter's quite quiet now, but nothing's changed. We're just closer to the inevitable, which has been programmed in from the start. And it feels like over a year now that we've Titan X has started, but we're so close and people are selling. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Not financial much, but
just the mechanics and the sustainability and how, like Jake was just saying, it's just such a secure place to be. It equalizes it. It levels itself. It self-corrects. It's amazing how adaptive it is, and that's what I love about it. And E280 had a role in that, with how they kind of brought some stuff together too, and it's just phenomenal. It's beautiful. Period.
Mm-hmm. Well, what other stream can you hop on to watch where literally everyone on the panel has something that's about to come out?
Exciting.
That's true.
Yeah, both
No. We got Mogun coming out paired with Shogun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't forget. We don't forget that. We learned real quick.
Mogun.
That's what I missed today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mogun.
Yeah, I'll get into more
smaller.
details, but I can't because the white paper hasn't been released. Hint, hint. But we have picked up 3 new members since this stream started in our Telegram group, so thank you very much.
By the way, Mike, I was just looking at the code. So the way it works, this is nerd ass talk, but X28 sends to the V2 buy and burn, which then calls burn LP tokens on the Titan X core contract, which then triggers the ERC20 burn, which basically just sends it to the 0 address. So the event is the burn event on Titan X token contract.
Got you. So the normal
Totally.
ERC20 standard
Yes.
burn function. Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. No worries. Yeah, I can directly query that. Yeah. The only issue with that is since you're sending it to the V2, I'm not sure if I can attribute the burning to X28 directly. I might have to track that sending and assume that's the burned to attribute the burning to X28.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's actually a good idea. Just the actually, is it the contract that sends or is it the user that sends?
Oh, by the way, I have that data ready anyway because it's like I am showing the burning already on Titan X Hub. So that number I have that already, and it's attributed to X28. So I
Do you
just
have that on
decided-
daily basis?
No. It's live essentially. But the thing is, the caching currently on Titan X Hub is a bit of flaky. But essentially, it's live data I have on the database.
But can you track it back to a day? Or is
Oh
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
still-
By the block, if you want, essentially.
Oh yeah, no. So you have the data.
Yeah. I mean, I have the data, but I think the one of the issue was more. I had to add that in the query so that it shows up. The query for burning is lives independently of that query, which I'm showing currently. That was the problem.
Oh, sick. Okay, because
Yeah.
sometimes I see people share that Titan X liquid chart.
Yes.
I'm like, that's wrong. I saw Trader Lee said it today on good intentions. I was like, wait, but something's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
I
tracking
think-
it in Google Sheets.
Yeah. I think one of the thing is like I need to the query of burning of X28 needs to be added to that query, and that was not the case at this moment.
Nice. You're gonna see a big difference, especially after Shogun. You go, wee.
Yeah, I'll try to get it this evening. Definitely done. Yeah, I'm listing Shogun right now as we speak.
I was going to ask.
After I had you take it off.
Oh,
was
by the
hilarious.
way,
Oh my
it
God.
was there already, like, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it
And
was-
then I had you take it off because we on
Oh.
stream. He was like, "I'm not going to do it," and then the next day he's like, "I'm going to do it." And he's like,
I
"Where'd
was-
it go?" I'm like, I just told him. Never mind. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
that was me.
Did-
Blame me. It's fine.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Because I was essentially now entering all the data again, but then it's like, oh shit, I have it already in the database. I just made it inactive. Anyway, I'll activate it right now, guys. Activate it.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, that's actually hilarious. Because on Titan X Hub, originally you had an idea for Shogun protocol like in the first months of Titan X, and then we decided not to do it. So it stayed on there for like a year, and then I was on stream at Mo, and I think somebody mentioned Shogun is not happening, so they took it off. And then after a year of like, this is never happening, the next day after they took it off, for some reason I decided to pick Shogun and go for it. So like, I announced it, and almost the same hour it was off of Titan X Hub. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they're like, I'm tired of waiting.
Realistic.
It's gone. No.
right. Love it.
Oh my
No,
God.
because I think somebody, I don't know, like, is it Mo? Somebody told me, it's like, oh, by the
It
way,
was
Shogun,
me.
you can take that out. That's not happening anyway. And then I was
It
like,
was
oh,
me.
yeah, sure. No worries.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Are you going to build Shogun on other chains? Is it just going to stay on Ethereum?
Ideally, they find a way to feed into each other because they can definitely launch on other chains. But I like value accrual across. So I don't know. If I figure that out, yes. But it's probably gonna. If I can't figure that out, probably not. It's probably gonna stay on only Ethereum, unless the other chain versions can feed the original Shogun in some way. Then, yeah, because I like Shogun because it's paired with everything in the ecosystem. So if you go on another chain, I need to go paired with a bunch of shit I don't care about. So, not a fan of that. At least on Ethereum, we have all the ecosystem tokens. So just pair with all the cool stuff and all the volume stays in the ecosystem instead of, I don't know, feeding some people that are going to rug like 2 days later. Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, exactly, yeah. That's the beauty of Shogun, is just all Titan X stuff in the pairs.
Any, some of these questions are going to go all over the place. Guys, if you have any questions or things, just interrupt me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
real
I'm
quick.
Interrupt you guys.
I gotta. No, I don't have it. Callum, you can do your question. I just gotta say, I gotta go, guys. So, Mike, Ted, Jake, Mo, Callum, good hanging with you guys. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks-
I will catch
thanks
you
for
guys
coming on.
later. Thanks for having
Thanks
me
for
on,
coming
Mo.
on, man.
Peace, guys.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, Jake, I was just going to say on that topic, you could just use, so for now you're using stakes. You could just do 50% liquid of what X28 on that chain and then 50% of Shogun Ethereum and then just burn that. Right. And that could like give it value. Because I know what you mean.
Could-
Otherwise people just sell and then go into it.
Yeah, but it's just getting it on that chain. That's the big
Yeah.
question, because Shogun is not omni-chain. It's because DAX tokens omni-chain are very, very hard. Like, it's a pain in the ass. I don't trust it enough yet.
Oh, you're talking about like
Well,
just
it's-
getting it over, not just making a new. I thought you were meaning like just code it and
Yeah,
maybe
but
copy
I
and
would,
paste it.
no. I would want it on that chain.
Okay.
But it would need to work together. Same way like Titan X28 works together. I might be able to figure something out. But it's probably going to be only on Ethereum for quite a while.
Yeah.
If I can't figure it out.
Wait, that brings me to another point. So in all the time you've kind of, since you've entered Titan X, there's been something on the horizon. There's been Hyper, there's been X28, there's been Shogun. Have you got any ideas for something next, or are you going to take a break for a while?
I don't know.
Things into his head.
He's finally not. Yeah.
It's funny how it works, because usually I'm just like walking around, and then I have like this psychotic little moment where something comes to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm building it. It just comes out of nowhere. There's no plans after Shogun, but who knows? I might be taking a shit and something comes to mind.
Yeah, you know what?
And
That's
then
exactly what
a
happened
bunch
to
of
me.
money leaves my
Yeah.
account.
Yeah. That's what happened with Phoenix. All these little ideas came to me. It was really weird. I didn't just think, like, I was thinking about processes, but then it just came to me randomly. Like, I was driving and I remember I was with my girlfriend and she was speaking to me and I was like, wait, shut up. I just thought of an idea. it just came to me like that. It's
100%.
really weird. It's really weird how it works.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't
Stop
talk,
talking.
don't
Stop
talk.
talking.
And you're
Just
like,
stop talking.
Hold on.
Apple Notes.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Any plans for Sui on X28? or is that all just still like way ahead of time? Are we getting ahead of
That's
ourselves?
ahead of time. Once we have enough users, we'll just start rolling out chains. But I think as a community, it's best to just attack one chain at a time because we can direct our marketing energy. Because otherwise, you're just kind of all over the place. Yeah, but right now only Ethereum, and then the next chain is likely going to be Base. I think Base is doing stuff right. Other stuff like Starknet and shit, I don't know. Not a fan. At least with Base, it's nice. It's fair. It's nice. It's reputable. Good stuff is building over there. Even the meme coins are like kind of good quality. It's not like Solana where it's just brain rot. Yeah, Base is probably
like
the next
Base.
one. Mm-hmm.
I like Base.
Can you go over the potential LP sizes again for Shogun?
We're gonna aim for. Have we here? Let me pull it up. Yeah, we're gonna aim for roughly. The lowest is probably gonna be 16K ish liquidity pool both sides, and then we're gonna try to get it all up to 50K on all pairs each side. So it's probably gonna be like 100K all pairs, 100K per pair, which is a lot. It's gonna take a little bit to get there. But once you have 100K in all pairs, if possible, like if the liquidity pool is not big enough to be able to buy that amount to pair it, it's going to be smaller. But if you have that big, this is the thing I'm trying to figure out now. Of including, this is what I talked about in the beginning of the stream, in case people join a little bit later. And thinking about increasing the LP percentage because it's just a variable change, and just allocating more towards LP. Because I have this assumption, I'm still validating it, where a higher amount of dollars in the LP creates higher ARB volume across pairs. Because arbitrage bots can buy more without going into unprofitable territory on like a price fixing thing. So if that can increase, if deeper liquidity pairs increase the ARB volume from like 2,000 per call or 1,000 per call to like 5,000 per call, that could be a big difference. So figuring that one out. So the liquidity percentage might be bigger than 8%. Might be like 20%.
Awesome. I heard this isn't. Yeah. Okay. Is there any way for someone to move their Titan stake into Shogun and have it be on a different address?
No. As of now, no. But
okay.
I was thinking about a way where you can maybe do the transfer without a tax, but it would need to be a separate contract that it runs through. Because the issue is if you don't do the tax on transfer, you essentially check against what liquidity pool it's buying and selling into, which means you have to add every single liquidity pool to make a check. And if somebody creates a liquidity pool on Kyber Swap or some other random swap, you need to add that in as well. And then before you know it, you're 4 months later and you have 100 checks per swap and the gas fees are just nuts. So the only way to do it is on the transfer function. So there might be a way to do it where you create a separate contract where it transfers through and that contract is whitelisted. So you still have all the tax on the transfer function, which is the most secure and future-proof. And then do the transfer through a whitelist contract. I'm figuring that one out, but it's definitely not going to be at launch. Maybe we'll figure out a way to do Shogun transfer without taxing on transfer. But as of now, just keep it in the hot wallet. Just make your hot wallet secure. Because I have a bunch of hot wallets and they've never been hacked. Like I have to do something really wrong to get hacked in crypto. It doesn't just randomly happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, generally you got to click on the wrong thing. It's not like someone just hacked into you out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is it going to be possible to burn all your stakes in one transaction if you have the matching liquid?
Yes. Yeah, you're going to be able to batch them all together if you want to.
Ooh. I thought that was going to be
UI is clean.
That's awesome.
I made it as clean as possible because it is relatively complicated if you think about it. But the UI is very clean. Like people will very easily understand what's happening and how to do it.
The Ferrari analogy. You don't need to know how the engine is going to drive it.
Yep.
So probably the one question regarding the stakes. So essentially, on the UI, you're gonna connect your wallet, and then you can select all the stakes you want to burn at that time, and then you just need the matching Titanics for that, and then you participate in the auction, right?
Yep. So it's going to be a table. You're going to be able to see your stake, what's in them, the length of the stake, how long is left, estimated Shogun, etc. Then you're going to be able to batch select them or single select them if you just want to burn one. And then it's going to show you at the top of the UI what liquid you need to match. And you're also going to see your balance of X28 and Titan X in your wallet. So you can easily make the calculation if you have enough. And then the only annoying thing about stakes is you need 3 approvals. Oh, 2 approvals. So the first, you're going to have to do 3 transactions to burn your stakes. Because 1, you need to give the contract approval to burn your stakes. That's 1. Then you need to give the contract approval to use your liquid Titan X. And then the third transaction is the actual entering the auction. Because then it has approvals on your stakes and liquid, and then you can enter the auction. So if there's any questions about that, it's 3 transactions for stakes, and then liquid is just approve and do it. So there's 1 extra transaction on the staking part.
Sounds
Stake
good.
burning part.
Jake, are there same things to burn stakes put into Hyper as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, everything I build has proof of burn function.
Fantastic.
So Hyper also has to burn on stakes and stuff.
So one thing I have to still figure out, but that can come when it's out. I have a few people definitely which fell victim of the hacking and phishing stuff. So I need to participate in the auction and then get it out at the right time, essentially. But I'll figure it out. But I still have to pay the 8% because I need to transfer it to a safe wallet, essentially.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I need to participate in the auction, and then I'll have to, when the time comes for claiming, I have to claim it and then transfer it to another address. But I'll figure it out, man. But there's definitely some few people with a lot of stakes who want to participate, which got hacked, unfortunately.
I mean, hackers definitely don't have access to the Shogun in the wallet. It's definitely not going to be one of the tokens that they're watching. So I think you'll be okay. It's when they see Ethereum in the wallet that's when it gets weird.
Yes, yeah, most of the time. Yes, most of the time. But I mean, there's some other ones which they just don't care. They have whatever they see, they wanna catch that too. It's weird, but yeah.
For Shogun, the matching Titan X that you use for your stake, what happens to the matching Titan X? Is it burned also?
So what happens with that is the distribution is in the white paper. So the Titan X stake amount gets burned. Then the liquid Titan X that comes with the stake, 69% of that buys X28 via Titan X X28, and then the X28 buys Shogun, and then 3% of that goes to the liquidity webs, 47% of the Shogun gets burned, and 50% of the Shogun goes towards the war chest for the non-inflationary Shogun auctions after the supply distribution. At 20% of it, the Titan X gets burned, 8% goes to... So 69% of the Titan X buy and burn Shogun, essentially. 20% of the Titan X gets burned, 8% of the Titan X is sent for liquidity weapon, and then 3% to Genesis. That's for the liquid Titan X.
Okay. Awesome. Usual question, not quite a price prediction, but do you want to put your hand in the cookie jar of how many Titan X will be left by the end of the year? You can pass and let the other guys try.
I'll let the other guys try.
Okay. Callum, how many Titan X by the end of the year? We're at the end of November. So how much is going to get gobbled up in December, do you think?
I mean, I think a lot. There's a lot of projects coming out. Like a lot of projects coming out. And I know Steve's talking about, I think there's the wheel might be coming late December. I think he's planning as well. But I think Shogun's going to do, I mean, we just saw what happened with Hydra and Hyper and everything, the amount of Titan X that went in. So I would say half of the liquid supply now. What's the liquid? Is it 70 trillion?
Yeah,
it's like 68.
68.
Well,
I would say at least 30 trillion by next year. By next year.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too much. Maybe that's too much.
Yeah, that's 34 days from now. I mean,
yeah.
He's like, $1 trillion a day. We're going.
Maybe 15 trillion. 15 trillion. That's a good number.
Okay. Ted.
By the end of the year, right?
Yeah, by January 1st.
Let's see if we launch before then.
Yeah.
That'd probably be
Is it
40
the math of my
trillion.
protocol?
Let's see. I'd say 25 to 30. That seems
Okay.
fair.
Okay. Mr. Mike Dean, I need
A lot.
prediction
A lot.
from you. A lot. Give me a number. Come on. Don't say a lot. We're not going to hold you to it. Don't worry. We're not going to cancel you. We're not going to cancel our Titan X premium.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm gonna do the query, and then it's like I'm gonna.
No. Guess.
I guess.
No,
I
no
would
It's a
say,
number.
robot. You can't guess.
No, because you're gonna come back with some refined calculation.
No, I'm gonna do a quick guess without even looking at the current levels. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with at least 25.
Okay.
At least,
good
yeah.
spread.
I would say so.
We got prices right going here. So we got like 15, 25, 30. So
I got
I'll say
25 to 30.
31, motherfuckers. And
Ah, you
whoever's
damn.
closest wins.
Oh, you just prices right me, man.
That's exactly
Calm
what I did.
down.
That's exactly what 30 million and one Titan X. That's or 30 trillion and one Titan X. Oh Lord.
Yeah, because the thing you also have to think about with Shogun is not only what goes into Shogun, but also all of that goes through X28. You also have to
Which
take that
is
into account.
just
Exactly. That's how it gets very
constantly.
interesting.
Yeah, I think about like the Hydra launch, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the launch. This thing keeps going.
These are
Just
rough
keeps-
estimates, not firm, right?
No, I'm holding you to it.
Okay.
We're canceling you. We're booting
25
you
to
off that
30.
next hub.
And you got 31.
31. 30 trillion and one.
So I need
That's
30,499.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Oh, Lord. Why build on X28 instead of Titan X, especially if they're paired?
Yes,
hit that one
so-
more time.
By building on X28, you essentially include a Titan X burner into your protocol without having to burn a percentage. Because the way it works, like all the Titan X that goes into my stuff, 20% of it gets burned to create a stronger flywheel with every turn, which reduces Titan X supply, which is where that 250k a day, $250,000 a day, 90% of it comes from. With X28, you don't actually need to burn anything. You can build on X28. No, Shogun is going to burn 20% of the X28 comes in, but people don't have to do it because the fact that every time one X28 is worth more than one Titan X, there's an arbitrage opportunity that opens. So if one X28 is worth 1.03 Titan X and there's a 2% free arbitrage sitting there, somebody's going to take Titan X to create X28 and sell it back down to 1-to-1. Every time they do that, half of the Titan X gets burned. So just by X28 getting adoption, you burn Titan X supply. Because I saw this trend with build on Titan X protocols where the burn percentage just went down and down and down. Started at like 20%, then was 10%, 7%. It was like 3%. I was like, you might as well burn nothing at that point. So I was like, okay, X28 needs to go live. So with X28, by default, you're burning Titan X, and you can use all of the value for your protocol. So it's better for the protocol builder, it's better for the ecosystem. You're going to burn way more. And X28 will also be omnichain, which is another cool thing that will come off into the future for X28. But X28 is essentially Titan X. And X28 will also have some interesting liquidity stuff happening to it in the future. Yeah, X28 is just better. It's just better. The more you can force people to go towards X28, especially if it's omnichain, all that action that happens on X28 will also happen on all the other chains because it's the same token, same price. That will attract eyes on everything. Because Titan X attracts eyes on Ethereum, X28 will attract eyes on everything. And it has that automatic burn built in with the arbitrage on X28 and Titan X. That's just way better for the ecosystem.
Moth to the flame.
Yep.
We're going to slide backwards here for a little bit. For burning stakes, is it going to be a one click? I think you said it was 2 clicks.
Well, it's 3 transactions, but it's just one button. You select the stakes, you click one button, and then you approve the stakes,
the
you approve the
approvals.
liquid. Yeah, and then you burn the stakes. But it's going to show up one by one, just let your UI load. You confirm one, once it's confirmed in the block, confirm the second one, once it's confirmed, third transaction is going to pop up, and then should be fine. Yeah, the penalties have been included in BOT burned, because I wanted to make the stats page cleaner for newcomers. So now it's way cleaner, because it used to be like user burn, etc. Like, it's kind of confusing unless you know what was going on. But right now it's just liquid staked, build on Titan X protocols, build on Titan X burned, which is burned by the BOT protocols. Buy and burn on LP feeds burned. It's easier to understand for new comments coming in.
It looks really
That's
good
fine.
too. It looks that was a good call. That was a good call.
Yeah, because it was confusing because the stakes were included in BOT protocol, so it looked like it was liquid, but it's actually burned. Yeah, now it's way more accurate.
Yeah.
Mello wants a US launch time. I'm throwing that out there because I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I'm just gonna say. All right.
It's like yeah. You watch the Shogun.win website. That's the only going to be only official source. Ignore contract addresses. Ignore anything else that is not Shogun.win. Shogun.win, you'll be able to find the contract addresses in the footer. Anything else other than that website that you see as a scam, it will 100% take your money. We're not going to post any contract addresses anywhere. It's just going to be Shogun.win. Once that unlocks, that's going to be the official site, and you're going to be able to find everything there.
Will you post in the Telegram, or is it going to just unlock and people will have to see and then post?
It's going to unlock first, and then you'll see a post. So if you just the website will unlock once everything's set up.
Okay, sounds good. Ticker for Shogun. Sorry, go ahead.
I have one more question. Is that something actually other projects will also start following? There is just like this Sword of Truth is only the website itself, and there's no contract posting, or what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think it's safe because it's like a very clear instruction. I would think it's safer, assuming people have like more IQ than an Apple. So like, yeah, just go to the website. Once the website unlocks, you find your contract addresses there. Because like the difference between a correct contract address and a fake contract address, it looks the same. There's a bunch of random letters and numbers. So yeah, I think it's definitely a good approach. Only the website. Once that unlocks, all the contact data is there.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, especially now in the bull run, is like these guys, man. They're working 24/7, man.
Oh yeah,
they're working 24/7. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Someone asked me for the Mizuchi Telegram. I'm dropping it in right now.
T.me. Yeah, there you go.
In the chat.
Thanks, Mo. Hey, I got some real life IRL here I got to deal with. So,
Not
gentlemen,
acceptable.
it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, Mo. I'll catch up with you. Colum, congratulations again on all your hard work on with Phoenix.
Thank you.
Jake, no words. Seriously, dude, you got it. Mike Dean, it's always a pleasure. And
Awesome, dude.
And hey, everybody, didn't mean to crash the party, Jake. Please join Mitsuchi. Check out Mizuchi and also join the Telegram. I'd really appreciate it. I got to bounce.
No worries.
Killing it, guys.
Thanks for coming.
The links are also on titanxf.com, by the way.
Thanks, Mike.
No worries. I mean, hey, I have to use that opportunity as well, right?
Every single time, sir. Every single time. We got all the Telegram links for the X28, Shogun, and Mizuchi in the chat right now.
I've got a quick question, if that's okay.
No,
so Jake, with X28 and Titan X, so it's always 1-to-1, no matter what. Can you first of all explain that, and then what's stopping any project just setting up a similar metric where they have to go in 1-to-1 and then it burns 50% of their token? I'm guessing there needs to be a need on whatever that is building, but do you mind just speaking through that?
That's the big one. An arbitrage token that just exists for the sake of being arbitrage doesn't last for long, because then over time the supply overhang and the market cap becomes too big, where it can't be done anymore. So there needs to be a reason for the other token to exist. So at X28, that's Omnichain and build on X28. So it has use case forever, and it will always be one Titan X is one X28. Yeah, and other projects can definitely do it, but they need a reason to. Whether it's like to follow X28 on other chains, that's a good reason, because then they can create liquidity pairs on the other chains with X28. And kind of recreate the liquidity web on the other chain through the Omnichain version of it. That would be a utility use case kind of thing. People just need to figure out the use case, and then from there on, they can just essentially do what X28 did. Because it's a good model. It just needs a reason to exist. That's the biggest thing. Because if it's just the arbitrage, it works, but it won't work forever.
Yeah.
It works until it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's what Shogun's kind of doing. It's like this constant lever, always making a need for it. So through the auctions, which I really, really like. But yeah, there's nothing stopping other projects just doing that. And then it's like, that is huge. You burn 50% and it's still 1-to-1. It's like, in my head at the beginning, it didn't make sense, but it does now. It does now.
I have another question regarding. I mean, there were some projects already which were essentially building on other projects. Could you talk a little bit about for the new builders who want to try to incorporate X28, how they can incorporate it? Because I mean, I think there are some things when you're building, it wouldn't make sense to incorporate X28, and there are some certain circumstances where it makes sense. Could you probably just show a bit of distinction in general, so that people, especially the builders, so that they can get an idea?
Like, for example, Phoenix doesn't build on X28 because it's built on Inferno, which is already built on Titan X. So Titan X, Inferno, Phoenix. So that makes sense to just build on Titan X there. People have interesting ideas to build on, because you don't need to build on X28. It's good if you do it. But if you're building on Titan X protocols, then Titan X is the only way. There have been ways that have been thought of to kind of incorporate X28. So, for example, if you do staking rewards, let's say people need Titan X to enter your protocol, and part of the staking rewards is Titan X. You could let your smart contract convert that Titan X to X28 and just give X28 as a staking reward instead of Titan X. That way you can still have all the Titan X stuff, and then the staking rewards get distributed in X28. That's one way to do it. The other one is you just build straight X28. Yeah, it just depends on what you're building on. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Because if you're just building on Titan X, it's still beneficial. Like, it's still fine. It's just X28 is like more beneficial. And then everything by default benefits on Titan X, because Titan X goes massively hyperdeflationary, which is good for everything built on it. Yeah, but
okay. So I mean, one of the things is like, if for instance, right, as an example, if you're building on Inferno, you're already leveraging essentially a build on Titan's project, and X28 essentially is also somewhat like a build on Titan's project already, right? So when you're building on X28, you're already leveraged on that platform essentially, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, the simplest way to look at X28 is just Titan X. So the build on Titan X ethos is you pair with Titan X, you use Titan X as the input token, you burn, stake, or lock a percentage. So just replace Titan X with X28. So X28 input token paired with X28. And if you want, you can burn a percentage, but you don't need to. So for builders, yeah, if you build on existing Titan X protocols, it's a little bit harder to do. Like, you need to work on the game tier a little bit, which some people are figuring out. But if you're building from scratch, it's probably good to build X28 just straight.
Fair enough. But the thing is, like, if I'm building a project on top of, let's say, Inferno, accepting X28 would not be ideal in that case, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that wouldn't be,
because like, there's no liquidity pool between X28, which is locked between Inferno and X28, for instance, right? So because otherwise you would have to sell down first to Titan X, then go to Inferno, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're building on an existing Titan X protocol, like Dragon X, for example, then you would just go the Titan X route.
Yeah.
But there could be ways to figure it out, where you create a X28 Dragon X pair, take an X28 and just use that pair hard-coded in the contract, like you would normal Titan X into pool. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out.
Create that liquidity pool first. Like, it has to be a contract-owned liquidity pool to make that happen, essentially.
Yeah, or you could just create it manually. Like, it doesn't have to be. Create a manual, burn the NFT. As long as you have the address, you can code with it. So you can even create it with like $200, and then you have the address. Just burn the NFT.
Yeah. I think that was the bigger thing was, for me, was like, you need to have something locked, essentially, because otherwise it's like, you don't want to happen at some point is like everybody pulls out the liquidity and then there's nothing there to buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have any more questions, pop them in the chat because we're kind of getting to the end of this list. I got a handful of questions here we'll get to, and then if there's no more at that, we'll kind of wrap it up after that. We're at an hour and 40 minutes. We have 1,876 people here. We can't end without at least 1888. So
Shogun is listed, by the way.
Shogun is listed. What is the ticker for Shogun going to be? Is the ticker going to be Shogun?
I think so.
Probably, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. 6 characters
The
as well. Great.
28th is a great position because it's coming into the new moon as the project launches. Okay. I thought he was saying something else there. If Shogun launches on the 28th, then the 28-day mint period ends on Christmas.
Everybody drunk as fuck. Oh yeah, let me claim my Shogun.
I see a lot of people reaching out to Mike Dean. Mike, I sent it to the wrong place. Help.
Yeah, okay, so this is important. Shogun has no penalties. So for example, you can enter the
That's good.
You can enter the auctions, it will just accumulate. So for example, if you enter day 1 and you do nothing, you enter day 7, you do nothing, you enter day 8, you do nothing, you do enter day 14, you do nothing, it will just accumulate. And you can claim your balance whenever you want. So if it's 100 days later, there's no penalties on it. It will just look at what you have claimable, it will claim it all at once. So there's no penalties on a Shogun claiming after an auction. You can even just let it accumulate. Like if you're planning to DCA over like your 28 days, you can go into all the 28-day auctions and just claim at the end of the 28 days to get your supply. It will just accumulate.
When you look behind you, it looked like you were looking in the Shogun's eyes. Just to confirm, in your green screen, you're like, what? We're gonna do it on. Okay, so
this is a shit green screen. I need to like sneeze and this thing falls over.
Oh really?
Whatever. It's good enough.
Yeah, it works.
Because you needed to be able to see the katanas.
Oh, that's fine. Is that you had to literally buy a green screen because you're like, I can't see my fucking katanas. This is bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
That's funny.
Also, a green screen is basically Titan X screen. Because Titan X is green. So this is a Titan X screen.
I like it.
Yes.
It's gone beyond the numbers. Now it's just all colors. Everything green.
Yep.
We're taking over the colors now.
Hey, Mike, this is I think this is a comment for you. It would be nice to have a page in which we can see all the Titan X burn daily and from which specific build on Titan X protocol. I mean, let me just chime in before you chime in. At a certain point, there can only be so many stats that you show. Otherwise, you're just making this giant stats page with a million different things, and it gets a little much. But go ahead, Mike.
I mean, this is also a thing, right? Because there is definitely a lot of data, and the question is like, okay, how do I model that data to show it effectively, right? I mean, that's also a big problem because there is definitely a lot of data, and you can view them in all kinds of ways. And this kind of stuff, at least I'm trying to do more like in the premium, is like probably showing some stuff which is much easier to play around there essentially than anywhere else, right? So, I mean, I have to figure this out. One thing for sure is like I need to get Matrix out. Then hopefully I'm going to have a bit more time to figure a lot of these other things because Titan X up, I have a vision how that should go, where that should go. And I have a lot of plans for that. And there's a little bit break on that one, on that front, on Titan X up. But there's definitely some more new ideas going to come. One of the things is, for instance, right, not regarding the question you just asked, but especially some of these projects, there's different kingdoms, right? So, for instance, Volt or Viper on Dragon X, right? They do burn Dragon. Do they burn Dragon X, by the way, Viper? Not sure.
I think
but
5%.
Anyway, 5%, yeah. But I mean, that is something also somewhat needs to be shown as well. And the question is like, how do you show that? Right. So maybe one thing I thought about was maybe to have a filter with the different kingdoms. So essentially, when you click Dragon X Kingdom, you can see at least what's built on Dragon X and what they have burned. Essentially, that could also be a thing, just straight on Titan X up.
That's a cool idea.
So different categories or different kingdoms. So like, I mean, that could be an idea.
Okay. JD says he's needed to rewatch the stream because work is getting in the way. You just need to tell people at your job to pipe down because you're watching a stream and it's more important. He also likes the Mogon idea. I'm going to hold that to Mackenzie. Maybe we'll do that. Mogon.
Yeah, because he has great ideas. I'm telling you that. There's also the diaper idea. I don't know if you heard about that one.
What?
What is it?
No.
I think he posted something about first came Viper, now comes.
Oh
diaper.
yes.
Yeah. And I got the domain as well. I sent it to him. I was like, hey, I got the domain.
You're like,
Diaper.
Diaper? No.
When
That's
diaper?
When
That's
diaper.
All right. Well, when diaper, I think, says that we are definitely at the end of this stream.
I've got one thing. Jake, are you thinking about
Okay,
maybe...
fine.
So Hydra obviously leverages Dragon X. Are you going to build anything to leverage Shogun?
Slow down.
Maybe.
Slow
We'll see.
down.
I think that's.
I always have ideas.
Yeah, because you need more people to come over, and that gives plenty of opportunity. Because at the moment, all the opportunity is in Titan X, but as more things build on X28, there's more opportunity for builders to come in. That's the only reason I bring it up before you shout.
I have some ideas.
You know me so well.
I definitely have some ideas. But we'll see.
Shogun's not even out. He's like, what's next on Shogun?
Yeah,
makes sense.
it all needs the benefit of each other. That's the big one.
Okay. Awesome. 1960. It's a decent year. The 60s hadn't quite gone to shit yet. Mike Dean, last words. I want you to start sending us out, sir.
Yeah, probably one of the last things I would like to say. Yeah, well, definitely thank you for the invitation, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to Shogun because I'm definitely going to be observing what's happening. Like I'm going to be very much data driven and check out exactly how things work out, because obviously a lot of these projects which are coming, they're going to utilize some few of these mechanics, and yeah, just trying to learn, man. It's every day. I need to learn new stuff, and this year was the year of leveling up, man. Absolutely, man. So looking forward, man. Level up for sure. This year has been the biggest growth for me, definitely. I tell you that.
Are the legs looking bigger, Mike?
Hey, you want to level up? Get katanas.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to order them now.
Yeah, everybody needs to get dual wield katanas.
Oh my
Hell yeah.
Lord.
Just get like toy katanas that just go on your back.
Hey, last question, actually pertinent question. Can you explain the difference on entering day 1 versus day 28? Is there any difference?
I mean, the main difference is going to be market price, because auctions close out at market price. So if Shogun is trading at, for easy numbers, $1, then it will close out around $1 per Shogun for the auction. But if it trades at, I don't know, $5, this is obviously not financial advice, but $5 after the 28 days, well, then it's going to close it at $5. So you'll have to make the decision based on where you think the market price of Shogun is going to be. You can just DCA over the 28 days. Like, it depends on how much you're going in with. You can just go over all the 28 days, or just front load in the first 12 days, or figure out your strategy. Going all in on one auction is usually, it's 50-50. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Like on Volt, for example, I think I went in over 8 days. Whatever I was going to go in with, over the 8 days. And then compound a little bit. If you see like, okay, there's an ROI on this auction, I compound, go in the auction again. There's a bunch of games you can play. But I would be like, okay, you can either front load, go in, whatever amount you're going to go in, divided by 12, go in over those 12 days. 1/12 every day.
I like that.
There's a bunch of strategies you can do. You just talk about it in a Telegram group. People probably have a bunch of strategies. But I think a DCA strategy in general into the auctions is pretty safe, because you get an average.
Yeah.
Callum, why don't you show a little bit of Phoenix and give us some last words, sir?
Yeah, so just on the Phoenix front, we've done our first audit. We had 0 critical things come up. We had 4 medium and 5 low. So we're going into the second audit now, and we're going to be launching hopefully early December. So I'm looking forward for that. And yeah, on Shogun, I'm looking excited for this. It's going to be awesome. Same as Mike. I think I'm just going to be studying and looking at all the data coming out, because it is like everything in the ecosystem coming into one. So I'm very excited to see how it plays out for sure.
For Shogun.
For Shogun, yeah. What did I say?
Yeah, I was making a wordplay because it's for show.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's our for sure.
Right over there. That's amazing. Oh my Lord. Jake, why don't you send us out? I always do. I talk enough, so I don't need to say anymore.
Just pray to the gods that the second order comes back clean. Otherwise, we might have a little delay, but 70% chance is 28th of November.
Awesome. Looking forward.
Let's go. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for coming in. This was an awesome stream. 1985. Not bad. Not bad for a Tuesday. All right. I hope you guys have a good week. If you're in America, happy Thanksgiving. If not, have a happy week. Get some katana blades. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys Shogun lunch day, hopefully. Let's go. Peace.